Hello everybody, Super Duper Boy here, and today I am going to be doing the first part of my new series, Kaiju Compare. So what I'm going to be doing in this series is taking two or more kaiju that have never fought before and trying to determine who would win in a fight by looking at their strengths and weaknesses. So in this first episode of Kaiju Compare, I'm going to be putting Rodan up against the two M.U.T.Os from Godzilla 2014 and seeing who would most likely win in a battle. I'm not going to find a definitive winner. What I'm going to do instead is give a percent score, like if, let's say, Godzilla versus Ghidorah, Godzilla would win 60% of the time, so I'm just going to be giving a percent score. Even though that's just an example, I don't think Godzilla could win 60% of the time. Ghidorah is stronger, don't at me. Anyways, I'm going to analyze the monsters, starting with the male M.U.T.O. So, he's obviously not that big, but he's very strong, and people don't give him enough credit for that because he definitely has very tough skin. He was bitten by Godzilla multiple times, but kept on fighting. He's pretty brave. But for all we know, Godzilla and M.U.T.O could have fought for hours, and it's surprising how much damage M.U.T.O was able to take. He's very determined, so he's pretty tough like that. Obviously, he's not super strong, but we still were able to see him drag around Godzilla, and Godzilla is way, way heavier than him. I think over 4 times heavier than him, so that's also pretty impressive. So he's got good durability, good stamina, and pretty good strength. And then there's M.U.T.O. She's 300 feet tall, and she's definitely very strong. She can plow through buildings, as we saw in the movie. She was still overpowered by Godzilla though, but when M.U.T.O and M.U.T.O were together, they were actually able to defeat Godzilla and start beating him up. I think probably if it wasn't for the distraction caused by the humans, then the M.U.T.Os would have won. So they're pretty powerful. Of course, they have their EMP attack, but that wouldn't really do much against Rodan. It actually wouldn't do anything against Rodan, maybe except a little distraction. And so speaking of Rodan, I'm going to move on to him and analyze his abilities. So he's very big. He's definitely a lot bigger than M.U.T.O. He's 154 feet tall, which it's okay, but his real size comes in his wingspan, which is 871 feet, almost 1,000 feet, so he's got way bigger wings than M.U.T.O. Of course, Rodan is very fast in the sky and is extremely aggressive. We see him just charge into battle. He doesn't care about how big the opponents are, like how he went to fight Ghidorah, who's a much bigger opponent. He's also pretty powerful. We saw him throw around Mothra quite a bit. Mothra was just able to win because she had a secret ability Rodan didn't know about. But a big portion of Rodan's power and strength comes in his wings that are on fire. We saw him burn Mothra, and that definitely hurt her a lot. And Rodan also has this one ability we didn't really see much in the movie. It was in the background of the Washington, D.C. sequence. But he's actually able to shoot fireballs. I'm not sure if it's out of his mouth, but he is able to shoot fireballs. And that could be a problem for the M.U.T.O, so he's pretty strong. I think he's probably more powerful than M.U.T.O, just because of how big and strong he is. So now I'm going to go into the fight. Let's just say it happens in San Francisco. It could happen anywhere, but I'm going to be using San Francisco, and the two M.U.T.Os are there in the city, and Rodan comes swooping down super fast. I think M.U.T.O would probably go to stop Rodan, and they would have a fight in the air, but Rodan would be able to easily overpower M.U.T.O. M.U.T.O would do a little bit of damage with his claws, but just wouldn't be enough to stop the raging Rodan. M.U.T.O would get burned and beat up, so the M.U.T.Os would be winning, and M.U.T.O really couldn't do anything while M.U.T.O was being beaten up in the sky, because of course she has to stay on the ground, she can't fly. So M.U.T.O would probably realize that he's losing and he needs to do something. So I think what he would do is he would try to go to the ground where M.U.T.O is, and Rodan, because he's super aggressive and always tries super hard to beat his opponents, he would fly down to the ground where M.U.T.O is. Rodan also has his fireballs, like I mentioned before, but I don't think those could do too much because M.U.T.O got hit by an atomic blast that lasted for many seconds, and those fireballs are just boom, they hit you, and then it's over, so it could probably hurt them, the M.U.T.Os, but I don't think it can do that much damage. It's probably just going to hurt them, and I think it would be hard to hit M.U.T.O with those fireballs. So maybe Rodan could use them a little bit, but it's probably not going to be his most effective attack. Anyways, back to the fight where Rodan goes down to fight them both. This would be a big mistake because then I think M.U.T.O would come in and probably knock Rodan over. And if Rodan falls to the ground and the M.U.T.Os get on top of him, that's kind of it for Rodan because the M.U.T.Os, like we saw them in 2014, we saw them beat up Godzilla. So the same thing would happen to Rodan. He would get beaten up by the M.U.T.Os, and that's why I think the M.U.T.Os would probably have a better chance of winning. Just because if Rodan gets into the spot where he's being attacked by both of them, there's really no escape from that. Now I'm going to be giving my percent scores. I think that the M.U.T.Os would probably win 80% of the time. The only way Rodan could win if he's super strategic and careful about it, like if he's able to kill M.U.T.O and then still have enough strength and energy to get M.U.T.O, that would be really hard to do. So there's a possibility of him winning, but I think it's a pretty low chance. But if you think Rodan could win and get a better percent score, then tell me why in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I am planning on doing more of this series. Next time, I'll try and do a one-on-one. If you guys like, I could do Rodan versus just M.U.T.O and try and analyze maybe if Rodan could win that fight. Anyways, that is it for this video, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.